All right, guys, let's get started. It's go time. This is Sydney Guajardo coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas, and we are the Trading Places. Okay, let me see here. What do we got going here? Let's open up my account. Any trades open? No. Matter of fact, I did good last few days. As a matter of fact, coming through here. How many negatives do we have? There's one negative. Two negatives. Three negatives. Three negatives out of about 50 trades. So I'm in probably mid 90s. It's not bad. See if we can keep the streak going. It's not about your accuracy. Well, it is. You can go 9 out of 10 and still lose money. It just all depends. We try and go for pips. So if the better, so we have to, patience is a virtue. I got that from a Nestle Quick commercial in the 70s. But it is. I'm trying to get this to about 10% for the month by the end of the month, which I need about another 122,000 to get there. I think we'll get there. It's all about waiting for the trade to set up. And the more you do Forex, the better. So, and you don't have to do, the quicker you get there, the better. So it was very hard for me because my personality is wired this way, where if 1 is good, 10 is better. So that's not a very good way to do things. I'm not a very patient person, but as I'm getting older, I'm doing Forex, and when you make a mistake in Forex, it hurts. So as I was doing Forex, I had to learn to be a little more patient, wait for the trades to set up, and then enter the trade and execute it. And so I'm learning just like you every single day. You learn something new in Forex every single day, but as far as your personality. But anyway, let's get started. We have, there we go. All right. I called gold long today, and sure enough, it went there. So I don't like putting it in writing because it's not something I want my students to do, because it's one of those things where I say it every single day. Gold and in the indices like US 30, it's like a slippery fish, and it's very hard to handle. So it's kind of one of those things where you just have to be aware of your terrain. This thing can move like grease lightning. So be very careful when you're trading gold in US 30. But this is where we are. I think gold's going to continue on a north trend, and so I'll just put that here. That's all we do for gold. Let's see where we are for US 30. I did call it this morning. I called it short, and that's the way it went. So another good one. And I rely on the king a lot, King Solomon, and because he just does not miss. So let me see here. There we are. All right, let's get into Forex, US dollar, the euro versus the US dollar. I called it short, AM session, no indicator. The reason I did that is because there was probably no agreement, and it was just a hunch. This was seriously a lucky call, because it's very hard to judge where a trade is going without an indicator. And I did it. So 50%. I did pretty good. 50-50 shot, I'm sorry, and I won. So let's see where we are. We're right here. All right, so this trade is not ready yet. It may be ready for the morning, but if something does happen in the market, I'm going to, let me see, what did I have here? No, that's not it. This one is, we're going to go short when indicators turn. This is 5:19 p.m. session. So let's now the euro had been going up all day, or all. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden it just turned. It had been going pretty nice all week. Very, very nice. So it kind of got to the top. Now it's coming down. So just wait for that one. Our indicators will tell you when to get in. The US dollar versus the yen, the Japanese yen. Okay, so I remember this trade from this morning. I called it long and it worked. And if you took the trade there, you could have paid off your mortgage. A small mortgage, but you could have paid it off. Just kidding. So, and then my signals came on, it went short. So that's why I was making this illustration this morning. And I think the illustration I was making is, you see where this, I'm going to put a new line here. Whoops. Do you see this here? If you take a look at that, this was the same line I had drawn this morning, and I said at this point there was a new high. So I didn't put a prediction. There was no agreement in my indicators, and it was probably looked like it was going to go in consolidation when I said this, but it didn't. It just took a drop. There was, if you were to look back maybe a couple of weeks, that's how long it had been where the money had been this high. So common sense will tell you, if you're at a new high, either take it short or don't. If you're conservative, don't take the trade at all. Just wait for another trend. And it fell just like I predicted. But so what we're going to do today is it looks like it's going to go back to maybe create a new high, or it's hard to tell right here. So what we're going to do, there's way too many Forex pairs to concentrate on this one. The US dollar versus the yen. Okay, let's just see where we are here. And even though we've had this movement here, it's still in an upward trend, starting from about right here. Okay. It still says it's going to go long. It just might. It's here in the middle of the money street, and it may turn and go back up. But I'm not going to call this one. I'm just going to make a prediction from my gut, and just kind of, this is just for fun, because I don't like what the indicators are doing right now. So my prediction is just long. I'm just going to put a date on it. And we'll see how my hunch works. We're not going to lean on the King Solomon on this one. We're going to give him a break, because it does say it's long, but we're in the same predicament as we were this morning. All right, let's go to the euro yen. Kind of the same thing with this one. Kind of hit a high. This is kind of a resistance right here. Kind of hit a resistance level here, and it dropped down. This I could see this turning short. We have one indicator that's going that way, and if it does go short, when all three indicators line up, it's probably going to be in the morning. So let's erase all this, and what will happen is our signals will send a signal to your email. So go right here, give you a trend line. It's still going up. So if you're taking notes, it's going to be long. Long when indicators turn. Both indicators have to line up. You have to have three forms of an agreement. And if you're just hopping on, let me show you how much agreement works. I mean, you could take, as a brand new Forex trader, you can, I don't know, there's a stat out there that says 98% of Forex traders lose money. And guys, I'm not a very smart guy at all. I just follow the rules. I develop these indicators, and I have a strict set of rules that I do, and I'd be more than glad to share them with you. But you can't go 50 for 53. And some of these deals I'll do, if I find a trade that I like, I'll do it live. I do it right in front of everybody. I want Forex to make me look like a fool, and it just doesn't. Now, I know some of these negatives in here. There's 1, 2, I think there's 4 trades. So I'm actually 51 for 55 on these. I think I have 55 trades in here, and I made 51 of them correct. I know about each and every one of these negatives. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and every single one of these negatives were traded against the trend. So when I developed this indicator here and this one here, I don't know why, I trade with the trend. I didn't add a trend indicator, and I did. I found this one, and ever since I found my mistake, we've been spot on. So this indicator here will be released in July, and it's an awesome one. It helps with consolidation, and consolidation is something that could be organically formed, or it could be done. It could be manufactured by the institutional traders, which is our not our enemy, but the team we're playing against. It's not me against you, because the market is manipulated by institutional traders, and they'll put a trade in consolidation just to clean everybody out. But anyway, this is some good stuff here. This is some good stuff here. I even registered this account with my FX book. I want the world to see this, so it's made public. But anyway, let's go on to the next trade. The Aussie dollar versus the US dollar. By the way, if there's anybody that looks at this video while it's recorded, any professional trader, if you're to walk into like Charles Schwab or something, you tell them you had $5 million and say, what can you do with me? What can you do with this money in a year? If you tell them, if you tell them you want to get 10% on this money in a year, they'd probably they'd probably laugh at you. 10% is crushing it for a year. This right here, I'll get to $500,000, and that's going to be 10%. And I'm really conservative on this big account, and that'll be 10% for the year. So that's how powerful that indicator is. But anyway, Aussie dollar versus the US dollar. All right, we didn't call this trade this morning. Okay, let's find out where we are. It looks like it's trying to go in consolidation right here, so this is as close as we can get. It's still, even though the last few hours has been going down, it's still in an upward trend. A lot of pressure to go up. I think this is probably going to go short. Now, we're looking at maybe about 4 or 5 hours, maybe at the open of the London session, which is I think it's about 7 hours from now. Let me see. Let me see here. London session opens in about 7 hours and 45 minutes. So like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern time. But when the third indicator turns, you'll get a message in your email. Let's go to pound dollar. All right, we called it long, and it didn't move much, but it did go long, and it kind of retraced there, did the hokey pokey. Let me see here. So let's erase what would happen this morning. Our prediction was right, so good job, Mr. King Solomon. We're long here, and we're right here. Okay, it's about to touch a resistance line, so It may bust through it, may keep going long, or it may bounce and come back. I'm going to leave this one until the morning. It may start consolidation here. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay. I think let me tell you why I think this trade isn't going into consolidation. This is our money street here. And anytime the currency does a sideways dance anywhere, whether it's on the sidewalk, the north or the south sidewalk, or in the middle of the street, that is a good form of consolidation. Now let me back this up by pulling up my consolidation indicator, and let's look at it, pound dollar, and we'll look at it. If it's in consolidation, it'll have a blue square. Bam, there you go. We're in consolidation. Let me tell you, this is a nemesis of Forex, being in consolidation. And let me tell you my theory. During consolidation, you will still have movement of the currency, and our friends, the institutional traders, are leaving little breadcrumbs here. Like right here, it shows that it was going in a bearish type of trend, and then it'll change directions and collect everybody's money. When it comes out of consolidation, it can go way up or way down. That's my definition of a banker's candle. Okay, sometimes it'll go up and lead everybody to believe that it's going north, and then just change directions all of a sudden. Here's a perfect example. Boom, boom, boom. Collect everybody's money. The institutional traders know what they're doing. This indicator right here senses pressure of money exiting the market or money entering the market. We make money in between these. Right now, I think this is setting up for a very long, it's right in the middle. So it's got a lot of real estate to go this way or that way. This could set up for a 50 to 60 pip move, but it's not ready yet. So let's look at this. So this is in consolidation right now. So when it's in consolidation right now, I have a little saying that I tell my students: when you're in the middle of the street, when you're a kid playing football or basketball or something, there's always an adult tell you, get out of the street, you're going to get hit by a car. Even Mr. Miyagi told Daniel's son, if you're in the middle of the street and you can't make a decision, you're going to get squashed like a grape. And my definition is you're going to lose all your money. So when a trade is in the middle of the street, if it's going in a certain direction, it's okay. It could be going down, it could be going up. But when it does this sideways dance, leave and run as far away as you can. And that's what we're going to do today. So let me write this down. Run, Forest, run. There's way too many. Now this could be in consolidation because the market just closed. This could turn during the London session, and if it does, it'll be a trade for the morning. So this is my prediction. Let's go to US dollar, Swiss franc. So see, this is just really, I like movement right here. And this is probably, if you're looking at maybe a 7, 8 hour or an 8 hour candle, you're probably looking at about maybe a week's worth of consolidation here, because did it really move? Well, it really moved here, but from here, it just made ups and downs, really no trend. It just kind of straight. So that's why I'm thinking it was, look at it, just playing right in the middle of the street, you know? No regard for life. So we're just going to go ahead and leave this for the morning. Let's see what happens. So let's go to pound Swiss. Okay. Yeah, so this one, let's find out where we are today. We're still in an upward trend. I like it. I think it's going to go short. And it may go short. You may get a signal tonight after the London session opens. But I think this is what we're going to do. Short when indicators turn. So mark my words, we'll find it right here. And if it goes down, we know that King Solomon is the man. So short when indicators turn. Let's go to the Aussie dollar, the Japanese, and the Japanese yen. I think this is the same thing. It went long and hit a resistance line and bounced. Look at that. You see it right there? Little banker's candle. It hit a support line, it bounced right back up. So let's erase this. It's hard to find out where you're going when you don't know where you are. So that's the first thing I do. It's right there. Let's call a trend so we could take trades with the trend. But I really think right here is the start of a new trend right there. So same thing here. Let's go short when the indicators turn. Nice. Let's go to CAD yen. Same thing here. All right, let's find out where we are. I'd make it a practice with the charting system you get as students. I would make a practice of doing this anytime you take a trade. You got to find out where you are, especially if you're going to take a trade, right there and then. At least put a trend line up so you know which way to go. But if you see a trade that's going to start to form, do yourself a favor and do this, so you can at least take some notes. There's a trend. Look at this. It's funny how these currencies do the same thing. We just did the same exact deal here on the Aussie dollar versus the yen. And this is the Canadian dollar versus the yen. It's almost the identical setup here. And I think it's going to go short, but it needs some time, maybe around midnight tonight before it turns. If this trend is starting, you will get a signal. So we'll put it right here. Only the best. Only the best trades. Don't try and look at things just because you get behind your computer that you have to take a trade. If you're searching too long, it's probably not a trade. So make sure that you're squared up and baseball ready when you take it, and only take the perfect ones, okay? Let's go to Swiss yen. Boy, look at that. Isn't this, it's the same thing. I called it short this morning and it went. But let me erase this stuff here. I love days like this when Forex is simple. By the way, guys, Forex is the largest industry in the world. You can verify that on the internet, that it does $5 to $7 trillion a day in cash. It's the most liquid industry in the world. And it's the most difficult because it just moves so fast. And it is a very difficult industry, but we've just made it nice and easy for you. So it looks like it's going up. But you see this Bollinger Band here, it looks like it's starting to turn short. And you can see that's an indicator on this money street where it's going short. So, I'm going to wait for the morning on this one. But at least we know where we are. And if it goes short, if it's right in this area, we'll have a better idea of where it's going. But if it does get in this area, look for it to start testing your support line starting right about here. Right under the 111 mark. But that's you're going to start seeing some support testing right there. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Euro Aussie dollar. All right. Do some erasing here. All right, where are we? Right here. There is a slight trend here. You know what I'm going to start doing is a linear regression. Look at that. I'm going to start doing this instead of using the arrow, because when you put the linear regression up, what happens is when you have a Fibonacci, you have those percentages going horizontal. Linear regression is almost the same thing, and it kind of gives you a place to start as far as trend, but it also gives you like a support, like a diagonal support and resistance line. And when it hits these lines, it either bounce or go through. And this one, it went, and it kind of hit here and bounced, and then this one just went straight up through, and it'll kind of give you, this is kind of like a trend starter. So, but you could easily see that it's going in a downward trend. So, but this just breaks it down a little bit. Kind of gets like a zero line. You know, anything above this line is going up, anything below this line is going this way, and it shows you support resistance. So this is a pretty cool little tool. I like it. I kind of have that on this one here. I don't really, let me see, where is it? This indicator is called the Where We Go One, We Go All. It's dedicated to my students. Let's look at something that's been going up, like the euro dollar. I designed this indicator to show trend. This one shows clearly that it's going up. When you have an indicator that's this long, like in this case, it starts at 5 days, 3 days, and 1 day. And the shorter you go, the more exaggerated the trend is. But this is definitely going long. The slower the money, the bigger the money. So this is, getting back to why I don't promote this indicator right now, is because of the coronavirus. This indicator was spot on. You could take 6 or 7 trades on a Sunday and get out of them by noon on Friday, and you'll be on the positive. It's kind of like a crock pot. You know, a crock pot is for like swing trading and, pardon me, and scalping is like a microwave. It heats up the meat or whatever you're cooking really quickly. This one here is like a slow cooker. It's supposed, a lot of the Forex traders that I know like doing it because they say it's less stress. You don't have to be checking your trades. I tell you, if I put a trade in on a Sunday and you say to take it out on a Friday, I'd be waking up in the middle of the night checking on it. And I've done swing trading before, and I'm just not wired for it, but I made this indicator anyway for the people that are. I don't suggest doing swing trading right now just because of the volatility. It's kind of like throwing a 70-yard or a 50-yard bomb down the field when there's 70-mile-an-hour winds. A lot can go wrong. I'd rather do a handoff or maybe a short pass, for those of you who can understand football. But that was my analogy on this. So let's go to the euro pound. All right. So this one, it was going. Well, let me erase this first. Sorry about that. It was kind of going along here. It had a good trend going for about a week right there. Whoops. Let me do one of these instead. It was kind of going along here, and then it was going short, and it kind of bounced up here. But now you can definitely see that it's going in a down direction, and the money is right here. I think that this trade will be ready here in about a couple of hours to go short. It may be longer than that. A euro pound is a very slow mover. So the slower the mover, that's okay. That means that you'll just get a signal later in the day. So I look for a signal sometime after midnight. One thing that I may introduce towards the end of the summer, maybe towards the middle of the summer, is an auto trader. For like some of these trades that are going to happen tonight, when the signal happens, it'll still send you a signal to your email, but when I do develop this auto trader, it's going to activate the trade when the signal happens. And you'll be responsible for how many pips it goes for as far as take profit. And for a stop loss, I'll show you. Now, when you're working with the auto trader, there's some things that you have to look at. So in this case right here, let me see. Let me erase all this. Let me just give you a preview of what my auto trader would look like. Okay. So let's say we see that this trade is going to form. Okay, this is the euro pound. Let me go over here where there's no indicators. Euro pound. Okay, so what we do is we get our Fibonacci right here, and when you're looking at a screen, you just go to the lowest point and go up to the highest point, right? And this is just a base indicator of where your support and resistance is. But when you're doing the auto trader, you want to find some more support and resistance lines. So this would be one. That would be one right around there. That would be one. Let's just go, I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm going to go to right about, that's a decent one. Right about here is a good one. Okay, so let's say you get a signal for to go north or to buy. It'll put you in automatically because you set it up and it's going to go north. Now we have to worry about retracement, right? So let's say the trade, the auto trader puts you in right here. And on the MT4, you'll see it, we could rig this up to where anytime that there's a line, it'll give you the currency rate. So let's say this is 0.89389. So you would write that down. And what I do on auto traders is I'd go for a stop loss. I would go to this line here, because if it does retrace, you don't want it to go past here. So in this case, this is like 10 pips. So I would put maybe a 10 or find another retracement line or another support line that's right here. Maybe this is 15 pips. On the auto trader, we're going to set it up to where it could take you out of the trade just in case you have a smaller account that you don't want it to go past a 15 pip stop loss. Now, the only thing about that is sometimes a trade will retrace from here all the way down here, and it can go maybe as little or as much as 30 pip stop loss, and then it'll just take off. So if you put your stop loss too soon, it'll take you out of the trade and you never got the benefit. That's the only thing with auto traders. That's the only thing. So we're trying to figure out a way to work this. But anyway, I just wanted to give you that example of how the auto trader would work. And it works fine. It's a great tool. Especially you can set a lot of these trades happen at 2 or 3 in the morning. Anyway, let me erase this. And let's find out let's move right along here. So trend is kind of going short here. I think this is going to go short when the indicators turn. It's probably going to be about 2 or 3 in the morning. All right. Let's go to the next one, pound yen. Okay, so where are we? Right there. It's definitely a long trade. Man, here's one of those things where we're asking the currency. I see the indicators definitely as long, it going long, and the reason why is there's so much pressure on this here. It either might go into consolidation and take off again, or go into consolidation and take a dive. Let's wait till the morning. So I'm just going to put. I just won't put anything. We'll see what this trade does tomorrow, first thing in the morning. NZD versus the Kiwi versus the Japanese yen. It's already starting to turn a little bit. Let's erase this. You definitely have the upward trend. You got a lot of strength to move up. But then you have this little mini trend here. It could be the Bollinger Band is starting to turn. See where we are. Right there. I think we're probably going to have to do 2 calls on this one. One tonight and then one in the morning. But I think it's going to go short. We'll just have to wait for the indicator. Kiwi dollar. I think this is going to be the same thing. Definitely had a good run here the last 10 days or so. Starting to do this. Let's figure this out here where we are. And I think it's going to go short as well. As soon as the indicators tell you when, it'll send a signal out, but it's going to go short. All right. Let's go to the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. So the new low has me concerned. General direction is short. I will wait. And that was a few days ago. Or no, this was this morning. It went short and it just rebounded. You know what? I think it's ready. It had a new low. It hadn't been there in maybe the last 2 weeks, and it's going to turn. So let me see where we are right here. I'm kind of to give 2 directions because it didn't do a gradual. It just jumped. So we went a really, really steep trend downward, and now it looks like it's going to bounce up here. And a lot of these herky-jerky movements could be announcements. And, you know, I've never seen so much economic news. It usually comes out in the beginning of the month. But we've had so many announcements here lately. And this really affects Forex. There's actually trend traders, there's pattern traders, there's technical traders. And then there's news traders. Right now, if you're a news trader, this is right up your alley, which everything goes off a trend anyway. So that's why I elect to do trend. It's just more stable. But there's definitely a lot of pressure, a lot of money entering the market. And this could be I think it's because of the US dollar. And it was pretty strong. But okay, so here we are. I think it's going to go long. And so we'll put that here. Only when you get the signal from the indicator. Long when indicators turn. Okay. There we go. Let's go to Aussie dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Long when indicators turn. Wow. That is beautiful. Isn't that nice? Just a lot of good movement. There's a lot of scary movement here, you know, because up and down, but it was all, you know, with the trend. You know, you can make money here during in between support and resistance. This is just a beautiful trade. Let me but the general direction is north. Now I'm already starting to see movement of it going south. Let me see here. Okay. Let's look at this here. Right here, it hit its highest high, or a new, well, very close to some kind of resistance line right around here. It looks like it. Let me see if I put another trend line here. Or a, right there. Yeah, it hit it, and then it just bounced back. So, what do we want to do? I think it's going to go short, but let's, like I said, don't do any hunches. Wait for the King Solomon to speak. So short when indicators turn. That's what I think. The Aussie dollar versus the Kiwi. Didn't really move. I put this money line this morning right here. Look at that. And it just hadn't moved. Hadn't seen that in a while. I'm going to do this short. Shorten indicators turn. Look at those beautiful signals. Just bam, 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 bam. Nice. I love that. Now, guys, just because a signal comes out doesn't mean you want to take a trade. Look at this here. So would you take this trade here? I mean, it's hard to tell. I definitely look at it. Aussie NZD is definitely a slower mover, but I would definitely look. This is why I wouldn't have taken this trade. Even though you got a signal to go north, the Bollinger Band is clearly going down. So what happened? This same candle hit a resistance line and bounced and it didn't go straight down, but it went kind of in a sideways downward motion. So you have to know your terrain before you take a trade. Now, if you got this signal here, I think this is purple. I'm colorblind. But if you would have gotten this signal here and you're at an all-time high, would you take it short? Of course. Same common sense. If you got the green signal when you're at a highest high, would you take it long? I've done it when I was a young Forex trader and I got burned. But I've also made money too. So if you're at a highest high and you get a long signal, just wait. There's 28 other trade pairs and they're changing every single day. And then we also give you access to trading gold and the indices and here shortly crypto. So don't get hung up. Don't fall in love with any one trade. Wait for the perfect ones. EuroCAD. Look at this beautiful one. Boom. So is this in consolidation? It's in the middle of the street. I'm going to say it's not. It's in the middle of the street, but man, it really wants to get to this side of the sidewalk. So let's figure this out. I like this trade. We are right here. Let's find out what direction we're going. And I think it's going to continue to go long. Sometimes, let me tell you this, sometimes at the end of a session, this was at the end of the US session here, and the US session affects every currency. All sessions do. But right here, there was a sell-off of something. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to put here long when indicators turn. And it's not going to take much on this one. So keep your eyes open. I'm going to go over two trades and then we have to cut it off here. Let me see. Yeah, two more trades. We'll just go up to Euro NZD. All right. So where are we? Look at all this here. Talk about being stuck in a trade. Jeez. Kind of looks like a small trend right here. Short. Not a lot of volume in this one. So if the indicators give you a short call, which I think it's going to go short, this is one of those ones, do you really want to use this? What if you get stuck in here? You know, again, who knows? When the Bollinger Bands are close together, don't take the trade. I don't care what signal it gives you. Just don't do it. But I feel obligated, just in case you fall in love with this trade, just to go short when the indicators tell you to. And if the text message is cut off, just refer to the arrow. That's all you got to do. On your Sierra charts, it could be just my computer, but if Sierra charts is having a glitch, make sure if your text message is being hidden on this side of the screen, make sure and put an arrow just so you can refer back to your notes. Have a little system. Euro, dollar, Euro, Kiwi. All right, this is definitely going in a downward direction. And I think it's going to continue that way. It's just not a big volume trade. It's just not. So let's do this here. Short when indicators turn. There you go. Big old arrow. One more. Had some big moves here. Let's do this here. It's obvious. But then you got this little trend mover here. I mean, it could bounce off of this resistance line and come back down and continue the trend. So we'll put a little line here to see where we were. And I don't know. It's kind of doing the consolidation sideways dance. Looks like it doesn't want to. I don't know. Let's just put this one as consolidation. Wait till the morning. Okay, so I have a meeting with a programmer to take care of this one here. I'm sorry I didn't take any live trades today. I saw a few trades that I could have taken. I just did. Here you go. It's starting to go up here. So if you're going to take this trade long, pound dollar, I would put your stop loss right about here or right here because it could break through. So if you just happen to be around your trade and it's getting close to this resistance line, cancel your stop loss and just wait. If it breaks through, just stay in it until it gets here again. So this is good, but let me tell you this. I think it may go here. Let me see here. This is probably a resistance line right here. So I'd be very careful because there's a lot of pressure. You see this red line that I put? This is money exiting the market. So even though it's going up, my prediction, it may go south and it may be a runner. It all depends. So these are the things I have to figure out when I do this indicator. But anyway, there was a lot of trades in consolidation. I didn't want to take a trade knowing that I had this meeting here in a little bit to figure this thing out, to work all the bugs out of it. And there's like one or two bugs. But, looking at it at a 4-hour this thing looks like it may go long here. Let me see. I'd have to wait on this one. But anyway, guys, so from me, Sidney Guajardo, San Antonio, Texas, and the Trading Places, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening, for those of you who listen live or on YouTube. And always remember, I really feel that we were put on this planet to help people that can't help themselves. So if you can help somebody, it makes you feel a lot better. Anyway, signing off until tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys.